Ooh.
Great. Now it's official.
There we go.
Should start seeing people pour in.
How'd you check? Is on the participants?
Yeah, do you see the participants tab?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just us. Oh, we got an attendee. Got it first.
2 people. 3
Three
people.
people,
4.
4 people.
God.
Wow, we can just keep
Thanks
counting
for
people.
All right.
8. Come on, get to 9. 9, yes.
I'm not going to count people because I'm meant to be reading. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started in 2 minutes. To 12. There you go. Look at that. Both are popular.
Don't know why. It's Jamie. That's what they come for.
They have the ginger beard. That's right.
Yeah.
And nice guitars, too.
Thank you. I bought them myself.
I mean, I've got Rubik's cubes. That's cooler. That's cooler.
Yeah, I didn't even notice those. Nice.
Yeah,
On display stands, too.
Yeah.
I've never seen Mick Jagger play a Rubik's Cube.
Well, you've not lived, Jamie.
Welcome, welcome. Just waiting for the clock to tick over. All right, we can get started. So hi, everyone. I'm Ben Matorsky. I'll be moderating this session. So if you have any questions, feel free to ping them in the chat. We'll have the conversation happening. We'll have a Q&A towards the end. So if you want to put questions in the chat, I can read them off. Or if you want to raise your hand, I think I should be able to figure out how to unmute you if you want to ask them verbally. Keep your questions sort of family friendly. We don't sort of tolerate abusive behavior here. And yeah, with that, I will introduce our speakers. So this is Robert and Jamie from the podcast. I hope I don't mispronounce it, but Totalus Rankium.
Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, first time. All right. So without further ado, I'll hand it off to you both.
Okay, hello, welcome. Hi. I don't know, do we do our usual intro, Jamie?
Yeah, why not? Hello, and welcome to Totalus Rankium. I am Jamie.
And I'm Rob, and we are not ranking anyone today. We are going to do an episode that a lot of people wanted for a very long time, for some reason. Because when we covered Scipio, we covered the Battle of Zama, and we, for a brief period, imagined what it must have been like for an elephant, didn't we?
We did. Hello.
It said the elephants a lot. Yeah, and then lots of people said we should do the entirety of Hannibal's invasion of Italy from the viewpoint of an elephant, which is a stupid idea for a podcast. However, I think it's a wonderful idea for a conference. So that's what we're going to do today. We are covering the life of Surus, who was a real elephant, Jamie.
He's got a name.
Oh, yeah, an actual name. So we are looking at Surus. I'm not making them up. He's a real elephant who really was alive. I mean, he's dead now, but he was alive.
Oh.
Spoilers. He fought alongside Hannibal, or underneath Hannibal at times. And obviously, we don't know much about his life, obviously. But we actually know more than we do some of the emperors that we've covered. So.
Well, he rose through the ranks.
He did actually,
or nose through the ranks, because he's a big elephant.
We might as well stop now, Jamie. I mean, we're not gonna be that, are we?
Nope.
But let's start. Okay, he was born in roughly 240 BCE, and we don't know anything about his childhood apart from the fact that it was elephanty, I suppose.
Peanuts, tricks.
Yeah, exactly. We can speculate things though. It depends what kind of elephant he was.
Well, African or Indian?
No, it's more complex than that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to let you choose. So here's your options. Number one, he was an African elephant from sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay.
Okay, so reasons why he might have been. He was meant to be a big elephant, bigger than all the other elephants. And savanna elephants obviously are big.
Mm.
Reasons against this, however, there are very few examples of African savanna elephants being used in warfare, apparently.
I guess maybe they're a bit too big.
Yeah, you can't fit them through the doors to the training houses. Yeah. No, they're just really hard to train, quite belligerent, apparently. So that's option one. Option two, he was an Atlas elephant.
Never heard of that.
It's a North African bush elephant. They don't exist anymore.
Oh.
They were around the Atlas Mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, they were around, and then, I don't know, something happened to them. Like, they all got rounded up and used in war.
They're also notoriously good at reading maps as well.
Yes, brilliant navigators.
Yeah.
They were smaller than African or Indian elephants. They were only about 2.5 meters tall. That's 8 feet for those of you who don't use meters.
That's not an elephant.
Are you disappointed?
A little bit. You know, when you think elephant, you think big and grey and trunky.
You do. These also are hard to train, and they're small. They are the worst elephants to use.
So hide under the sofa, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. But they're easy to get hold of because they're just over there in the Atlas Mountains. So yeah, that's modern Morocco, Algeria. So that's possibly an option. However, Surus, like I say, he was described as being a big elephant, so maybe not. So here's option 3. He was a Syrian elephant.
Again, never heard of that.
Yeah, they're all dead as well.
It's a sad episode.
Just wait. These are a subspecies of Asian elephants. They are the largest type, or at least were, of Asian elephants at 3.5 meters tall. That's about 11.5 feet. Is that a bit better?
That's an elephant, yeah.
Yeah. Also, the name Surus almost certainly means Syrian. So, yeah, there's a good chance he was a Syrian elephant.
I mean, you're loading my answer a little bit here.
Well, you get to choose which one are you going for.
Let's go for the massive Syrian green elephant.
Are they green now? Okay.
Yes.
That's what most historians go for, apart from the green part. He's most likely a Syrian elephant. He would have been captured at an early age, probably in the modern Middle East or the Indus Valley.
Oh.
Yeah. You don't breed war elephants.
You just capture them wild and hope for the best.
Yeah, but well, they're expensive to keep, and keeping a pregnant female and then looking after the babies costs a huge amount of money. Might as well just capture them in the wild. Yeah. Also, there's another theory, which is a bit horrible. A broken wild animal could serve humans better than one that had learned to trust humans from an early age.
Oh.
Yeah. Not
Sounds
good.
a bit mean.
A little bit. Anyway, we obviously don't know how Surus was captured. You want to hazard a guess?
Some sort of net. Well, maybe like you get a few Jeffs on the trees, like one in each tree in like a 4 formation. They just drop a weighted net down on the elephant.
That'd be fun. You're not too far off, actually. One method was to get an elephant you'd already captured and then ride on its back with ropes and nets and things, because the wild elephants would trust the other elephant and you could get really close to them. But usually what you do is you just follow a herd around for a while until you get used to where the herds go, and then set up a big funnel and a pen and not an actual funnel that you've got in the kitchen. And sort of like herd them into a place where you can just keep them penned in and then go around and choose what you want. So if you wanted like elephants for logging, you could go for the big males. If you wanted logs for just transporting stuff, you'd go for the tamer females. And if you wanted to invest in a war elephant, you'd go for a young boy who looked a bit tough. Yeah.
Part of a gang.
One that's already got a couple of tattoos. And a leather jacket. Yeah.
Just leans against a tree flicking a coin.
That's the one you go for. That's probably how Surus was captured, sort of. And then they would have been trained. Surus probably would have been housed in a massive complex, perhaps even with up to 300 other elephants.
Wow.
Yeah, training involves slowly increasing exposure to loud noises and sharp things.
Yeah, that's how they trained the horses as well, didn't they, in the Roman times?
Yeah,
They had that like, big round pen where it echoed a lot to increase
yeah.
the noise and that's horrible.
Mm. I mean,
Oh.
they do things like dress up as tigers to try and scare them, and then teach them not to be scared of things.
Right,
Or,
Jeff, put on the makeup. You're going out.
yeah, things like that. Or just,
Yeah.
I don't know, I suppose wake them up with a big drum, or just go
Uh,
boo a lot. Mice.
yeah.
Yes, that's what they'd use.
Throw mice at them.
Yeah, so apparently, according to one book I was reading, elephants, more so than most animals, have very distinct personalities, which I'm willing to believe.
Well, they're very intelligent.
They are very intelligent. So apparently some elephants just adapt to this really well and become really good, aggressive war elephants. And some of them hate it and just go, no, not doing it, not doing it.
The pacifist elephants.
Yeah, so essentially, I can only assume this turns into Top Gun for elephants, where the elephants are all training. Yeah.
See, where would you put a moustache on an elephant? Like would you put it
Like-
on the top or underneath the trunk?
Both, to be sure.
Excellent.
Yeah, you don't want anyone to miss it.
No.
Yeah, it was a very sad day when Elephant Goose died. But Surus, spoilers for Top Gun, everyone. Surus passed. Surus passed. Probably getting to the point where he was given prisoners to stomp on in order to train him to kill.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a deleted scene in the film Top Gun.
Yeah.
We have some evidence to suggest that Surus had a howdah, or a carriage, like a towery thing on his back at times.
Like Lord of the Rings.
Like Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yes.
So he would have started to use these to get used to them. And then finally, at some point, we don't know when, Surus would have been sold, or possibly been used as part of a trade deal, something to sweeten the deal, and he ended up in Carthage and became part of the Carthaginian army. Hooray. Now, most of the elephants he would have been with would have been those Atlas Mountain elephants I mentioned, the small, hard-to-train ones. So Surus would have dominated them. He was far bigger, far tougher. Also, interesting point, one detail we do know about him, he only had one tusk.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, he was either born this way, because apparently that does happen sometimes, or more likely he lost it in battle, or when he crossed the Alps.
That would be a horrendous injury.
Yeah, you can decide when he loses his tusk, because we don't know. So just pop that in at some point.
I'll make people know, yeah.
Yeah, okay. More importantly, though, at this point, he would have been assigned his Mahout, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which I'm almost certainly not. Now, if you're Surus, your Mahout is your human. Your human is very important to you because he feeds you, and he also gives you directions and helps you wash and clean and heal. So
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got human, so give your human a name.
Brian.
Brian. Okay, so you've got your Mahout Brian, and he looks after you. He's a good guy, is Brian.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as you know, these Mahouts were usually given Indian-sounding names, which is why you went for Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, they also dressed in Indian garb.
Yeah.
Because in the early days of Carthage using elephants in the First Punic Wars, genuine Indian people were sought after to look after the elephants because they had a lot of knowledge of training elephants. But by this point, the Mahouts came from all over, and it was more of a tradition. So if you became a Mahout, you'd change your name to an Indian-sounding name like Brian, and then you'd dress accordingly. And it was a status thing. You were a Mahout.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, good. Now, we don't know when Surus headed to Spain, but let's just say it was around the time that Hannibal himself handed over, because Hannibal, quick background on him, in his early 20s, was the captain of the Carthaginian cavalry and had been in charge of training not just the horse, but also the elephants, training them to work together.
Yeah.
When Hannibal is 26, his brother-in-law, Hasdrubal the Handsome, died. From being too damn handsome.
The twinkle was just too much coming out of his eye.
It was. And Hannibal was put in charge of the armies in Spain. So Hannibal goes over, and let's say Surus goes with him.
Nice.
But who knows? Put him on a ship.
Oh, that's a big ship.
Big ship. Yeah. elephants don't like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It's a tool of war.
Exactly. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was there when Hannibal arrived. We just don't know. But for the next 2 years, Surus would have plodded around Spain, not doing a huge amount. Sometimes the humans would make him move logs and things when they sat outside the city, but they didn't really do much that we know of.
It's almost Obi-Wan Kenobi-esque. It's like you spend years not training. You've been training for war. You're really good at it. Then you go out of training a little bit. You're out of touch.
Yes, the parallels to Obi-Wan Kenobi are almost uncanny.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's. So Surus probably didn't care that Hannibal's actions in Spain were infuriating Rome, who saw these actions against their allies as a declaration of war.
Yeah.
Because he's an elephant and he wouldn't care.
I want a peanut.
War was then declared, and Hannibal had a plan. He was going to take the war to Italy, invade over the Alps. And if we can believe the numbers, he was going to take 90,000 men, 12,000 horse, and 37 elephants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I don't think elephants like climbing.
I'll
be honest.
Well, we'll get to it. So from now on, you're going to be Surus.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you in the Surus mindset?
Yes.
Good. Right.
Hello.
I'm guessing you've made some elephant friends, so pick a couple of elephant friends. What are their names?
Sandra on my right, and Toby on my left.
Cool. Okay. And also, obviously, you have Brian with you.
I'm Brian. He's on my back. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. So off you go. Everything's going well. The land is relatively flat and even. Everything's fine. There seems to be some angry humans around, but your leader human chats to them for a bit. They let you pass. No drama.
Yay.
You are traveling a good steady 3 miles an hour, covering roughly 20 miles a day, which you're quite pleased with.
This is wonderful. Like a stroll.
Yeah, that's good. I'm liking the movement. We don't get this in the audio podcast.
No, exactly. Yeah. I'm trying to mimic the trunk.
Yeah, that's good.
While keeping it family friendly.
I was going to say I won't ask what with. So most of the weight that you're carrying is the water that you need to drink, because you need to drink a lot of water. You also carry all your food as well.
I'm an elephant.
Yeah. But it's fairly uneventful until you come across one of those big, long, watery things. Brian tells you that this is called the River Rhone.
Ooh.
Yeah. So great, water. But, I mean, you're an elephant. Your eyesight's not great. It means you can't really see the other side clearly. It's just a lot of water. You don't like this. There seems to be a bit of a problem. You see your leader human talking to the humans who live on the river, and they're all getting on these floaty things in the river. But across the river, you hear a large force of distinctly angry-sounding humans. So you know something's up. I mean, you've trained for this kind of thing. It sounds like fighting's close.
Yeah.
But you spend, as an elephant, 5 days hanging around eating food.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. You and, what was it, Toby and Sandra?
Toby and Sandra, yes.
Yeah. You're all just hanging about. It's all good.
That's great.
Yeah. There's a reasonable chance that you would have pulled around some logs at some point, maybe, but we don't really know the details. Maybe you notice a sizable detachment of humans leaving and heading north, but it's unlikely you care.
Nope, I'm an elephant.
You're an elephant. Then, after 5 days, all the humans start moving en masse and get on the floaty things. Ooh. You watch as some of the humans get on their large brown mice-looking things, and then they get on large floaty things. And also, you see some of the large brown mouse things being led into the water, and they swim alongside the floaty things. There's a lot of stuff going on in the river. It's all very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You and Toby have a good discussion about it.
Yeah, philosophical.
Yeah, exactly.
We're probably discussing, but we're elephants, we can swim.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. You're chatting to Toby, you're eating your food, and then, just as all the humans in the water and all the ones on the opposite shore are shouting at each other, you see from the left, your eyesight's not great, but you can just about make it out, all the humans that left your camp a few days ago come charging in, and you watch with mild interest as all the angry humans run away. Things are looking good for your friendly humans.
Yay, more food.
Yes. But then Brian taps you. He's telling you to do things.
Oh.
Now, I'm going to break out of the narrative slightly here. We've got conflicting accounts of what happens next, so I'm going to cover one way it might have happened using Polybius and Livy, kind of combining the sources. So here's how it might have happened. Your Mahout, Brian, tells you need to go forward for food and stand on that square-looking bit of ground next to the river.
Okay.
So you go forward for food. But as you get as you get nearer even, it becomes clear that that's just wood floating on the water with bits of dirt and plants on it. I mean, you're an elephant, not an idiot. But, well, Brian's quite insistent at this moment. You're not happy. Your 2 elephant friends aren't happy, but you've trained all your life. And food always appears when you follow the instructions. Plus, Sandra's already got on hers. And, I mean, you quite like Sandra, so you're going to follow. Yeah. So you step forward. The floating platform shifts a bit, but it holds. It's fine. And the platforms start to move. You panic for a while, but you kick it. Your training kicks in. Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah. Just occurred to me, camera's probably staying on me at that point because you're not speaking.
Oh, that's okay. That's fine.
Other people might have just missed the hilarious mime of you being a panicked elephant.
Oh, someone said we can see us both. Damn it. Okay.
That's all right then. Yeah, you panic for a bit, but your training kicks in. You're fine. You're calm. You're slowly going across the river, but then you hear.
I don't have an elephant. I have a cow, so it's the cow. That's like elephant going across the river.
Okay. Then you hear panic. Toby sounds very distressed to your left. You turn and you see him tossing about his Mahout, who seems also very distressed.
Toby!
And then you see Sandra jump into the water. And then Toby goes, and more elephants are jumping into the water. And you realise you don't want to be left alone, so you jump as well.
Yay!
Now, you've probably never swam before, because why would you have done? But much to your delight, it turns out swimming's not too hard.
It's like floating with power.
Yeah, exactly. And you and your fellow elephants swim to shore where most of the humans are.
Breaststroke, I hope.
Yes, breaststroke.
Butterfly.
Yeah. I mean, it's more impressive. It's slower, but it's more impressive.
Yeah.
So you get ashore, you look around, you see all the elephants have made it, all 37 are alive, but a lot of them are looking a bit limp. And you notice Brian is also a bit limp. Like he falls off your back, you nudge him with your trunk a bit.
Oh.
No, Brian's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, and you quite liked Brian. He gave you food.
Food.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably point out, we don't know for certain if Surus was one of the elephants that jumped off and panicked, but a lot of elephants did, and a lot of the Mahouts ended up dead. And this was a problem because they are the ones that look after the elephants.
Yeah.
So a bunch of trainees essentially had to step up. So name your new human.
Jeff.
Oh dear. Right. So you've got Jeff in charge of you now.
Trainee Jeff.
Trainee Jeff. It's not good.
No.
Still, you set off. Eventually you see mountains and they are huge. And you're an elephant, so when something looks huge, you know it's big.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, there is huge debate amongst historians over which path Hannibal took over the Alps, but you're an elephant, so you don't care, so we don't have to either. You just need to know that you go up and then you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done that before. It's fine.
So, good news first. As you begin to climb, you notice that there is a lot of freshwater streams, so you don't need to carry the water anymore. Hooray! Yay! Bad news. Icy cold water in your trunk's not good. It makes you feel a bit unhappy.
It's like sneezing out icicles.
Yeah, it's not good. It makes you feel very cold. The steepness is not a problem, though. Unlike the humans who seem to be struggling, you just carry on at normal pace. No troubles.
Yeah. It's like walking, but up.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy. More worrying is the sharp stones that keep getting wedged in your feet. And Jeff has to spend a long time every day inspecting your feet, which he usually finds on his 5th or 6th attempt. So,
no, my foot's here.
Yeah. You find yourself pulling more and more things as you go because the big brown giant mice-looking things keep dropping down dead, and they're things that they were carrying keep being passed to you, which isn't good. Not long into the climb, the humans you'd been following disappear, and you start hearing shouts and screams.
That doesn't bother me. I'm an elephant.
Well, exactly, and your training kicks in, so you just eat some food, so it's fine. So some of your big brown mice companions, however, panic because a boulder happens near them, and they charge through the humans, causing loads of panic, but you don't care.
Nope.
No, you're an elephant. You don't care. But then Jeff signals move forward for food after the fourth attempt. And then you pass all the humans. You're going to the very front of the 20-mile line of soldiers.
Wow.
That's a lot of men going over there.
That's not fast food, is it?
Turns out that the humans attacking you have heard a tale of you, and they think that you're actually a devil. So your job, along with your fellow friends, is to get to the front and scare everyone away, which you do fantastically. They run screaming as soon as they see you. So well done.
Why am I suddenly red?
No, you're fine at the moment. You're very blue. You're very cold. That's what
I thought they painted, me red. But I don't know what colours, do I? I'm an elephant, so
yeah. Exactly.
I know what red is. Who knows?
Yeah. It's the cold you notice most of all. You're not trained for the cold. It's miserable. You and your elephant friends all look awful. At night, humans have started to sleep underneath you for warmth, which is fine for them. It doesn't help you at all. And then everyone stops because a huge boulder's in the way, blocking the pass, which is very annoying. You probably reckon you could take the boulder. You're a big elephant. But no, the leader human's doing weird stuff with fire and ice, and eventually they crack the boulder and they move on. 5 days, though, you were stuck there, and the food starts to run out. You eat around 200 to 300 pounds of food a day. That's 90 to 130 kilograms.
Wow.
So when food starts to run out, it's a big problem for you.
Yeah.
You start getting very hungry. Your rations are almost down to nothing. You and Sandra and Toby are cold. You're dizzy. You're struggling to breathe in the thin air. You're not having a good time. No. But eventually, once that boulder is cleared, you start going downhill. Hooray! Yay! Which is possibly when you start skiing down.
Elephant skis, yes.
Yes, but I should point out there is no evidence that this actually happened because it was made up by Eddie Izzard. But after 15 days of nights, you're finally across the Alps. It has been a nightmare of a journey. If we can believe the sources, 2/3 of humans died and half of the horse died. There are only 20,000 men left and 6,000 horse. How many elephants do you think died?
Was it 37?
37.
I imagine quite a few with lack of food.
Nope, they all survived.
Yay!
Hey, you're all still alive. You're cold, you're weak, you're miserable, but you're alive. And
We're
go
now
down.
giving each other like fist bumps. Like, yes, man.
That's what you say.
Yay.
And you're in the Po Valley. Everything's much better when you're in the Po Valley. It's great. However, after a short while, you start hearing the sounds of men with lots of sharp, pointy things coming towards you.
Ooh.
Yeah. And suddenly all the humans around you are telling you to do things. Jeff is telling you to get into what's called battle formation. You don't know what that is. So he just says, walk here for food, and you do that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the Battle of Trebia. I've completely skipped over the Battle of Ticinus, which is the one we covered in Scipio's episode where he saves his dad because the elephants weren't there at the time, so you don't know about it.
All right.
But this battle, you do know about it. The two sides, the Carthaginians and the Romans, are going to face each other. The Carthaginians have their infantry in the middle, and they've got their cavalry on the edges, and the Romans set up their men exactly the same way. So nothing special is going on here. The Romans have more men, but fewer cavalry, and no elephants.
Aha, losers.
But it's relatively even matched.
Well, it's not. They don't have elephants.
Well, exactly. And as for you, where are you?
Eating food.
Well, it's not clear. You're either you're split on the wings, so you're on one of the wings, but you're either on the outside of the infantry or the outside of cavalry, we don't really know. But it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference because the fighting starts. The 6,000 Carthaginian horse and the 4,000 Roman horse rush towards each other, and it's no contest. The Numidian cavalry used by Hannibal routs the Roman one. The Numidians were far superior. Some historians speculate the mere presence of the elephants is what scared the Roman horse. So maybe you were putting on your fierce face at this point. You all said in unison. Yeah. What are you up to? Well, you're not actually doing a huge amount. You've got a platform on your back, and you've got a couple of archers, and you've got your mount, and you're standing on the side of the infantry fighting, firing the arrows in, or at least the people on your back are. You can get a couple of the humans with your trunk, but as per usual, it's your mere presence that's having the biggest effect. Yeah, the fighting's tough. Sharp sticks keep flying through the air and hitting you. Some of the angry humans with big sticks get near you and start poking you. You're not happy. But you remember your training and you fight, and you're convinced that some very good food is going to be on its way soon because, my God, you deserve it.
Steak.
Yeah, because that's what elephants eat.
Yeah.
As the fighting continues, you notice two things roughly at the same time. Firstly, the enemy humans on foot push through your friendly human line, but that just leaves them sort of cut off and abandoned. And then, to your right, suddenly thousands of humans on those big brown mice appear, and they're friendly humans. Hooray!
I like them.
Yeah, so the cavalry just sweep in from the back because Hannibal's just pulled off one of his clever moves that he usually does. You weren't privy to the planning because you're an elephant, but you're happy to see the cavalry save the day, so that's good. So yeah, Hannibal wins. It's a great victory. The humans are happy, and you look around to see how Toby did.
Toby!
Toby's dead, Jamie.
Oh no.
Toby's dead. Sandra?
No, not Sandra.
Dead. Sandra's dead.
Oh.
29 of the 37 elephants die in this battle.
They were my friends.
They were your friends. They're dead now.
No.
Yeah. Within the next couple of months, 7 more die from the wounds or exposure from this battle, making you the only elephant that survives the crossing of the Alps and the battle afterwards.
Hooray! Get a medal.
You didn't like Toby that much anyway.
No, he was a rude word.
Yeah, exactly. So after winter, the humans start moving south, and the lead human loses his eye in the swamp to infection. And it's decided that since one elephant's no good in battle, then he should get up on a tall thing and survey the battle scenes, and you are a tall thing. So Hannibal claims you as his own elephant, as a mobile headquarters in battles.
Yay.
And from now on, you're used as a symbol, not as a fighting elephant. You see all of the fighting in Italy for the next decade or so. You go over to Africa and fight in the Battle of Zama, which we're not going to cover because we have covered that already. And we, even though it's a Patreon episode, we have put that in the feed for free, so everyone can go and listen to the Battle of Zama and see how the elephants go on there. But as you know, Hannibal loses that, so Surus is captured.
Ooh.
Yeah, he goes to Rome and was paraded as part of the triumph for Scipio, and then it would appear he was retired in the fields outside Rome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he becomes a household name for the Romans as evidence of jokes involving him. His name is used as a synonym for a massive foe. He just goes down in Roman folklore, basically. We don't know how Surus died, but let's say after having a lovely retirement.
Yes.
Yes. So there you go, that's the life of Surus.
Nice.
And we're just going to quickly rate him, which is he gets elephant points for how much of a good elephant he was.
So wait, do we need to redo the whole series though? Are we going to rate elephant based on emperor qualities, or rate all the emperors on elephant qualities?
It's just when we do elephants.
Oh, that's fine then.
So it's just one round.
One off. Okay.
Yeah, 1 round out of 10. How much points does he get for being a good elephant?
Oh, all the points.
All the points. There we go. Surus gets all the points, and there we go. That is our that's our thing. So we've got some
Trunkius
time.
Maximus.
Yeah, we've got some time for questions and answers, which I know is not as long as perhaps we were going to do, but we've got the roundtable later. So if anyone's got questions, we can answer them.
Great, really good story. I was riveted. I was compelled. I felt things.
Mainly pity,
Good.
probably.
No, it was fantastic. I feel like there's a lot of reactions throughout the chat. I don't know if folks have questions, comments, concerns. You can either raise your hand, the little raise hand button in the bottom, or put it in the chat.
Someone's saying, where's Sound Guy?
We gave Sound Guy the day off.
Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't think we'd need him.
It's a bit camera shy.
Yeah.
Did Romans already know how to battle elephants at the Trebia battle?
Yes, because they were used in the first Punic War. But the trouble with elephants and training to fight elephants is they're elephants. And elephants do what they want. There was little evidence of the Romans being particularly good at fighting against elephants until the Battle of Zama, when Scipio pulled out his crazy move of just creating the corridors for them to run down. But yeah, this wasn't a brand new thing. But what was more of a surprise at Trebia was the fact that the elephants were there to begin with, because how the hell did he get the elephants over the mountains? So they weren't brand new to the Romans, but yeah. You just don't want to fight with elephants, do you?
It's like shock and awe tactic, I guess, isn't it?
Yes. Lots of people talk about how they were the tanks of the ancient world. It's like they're not necessarily that useful, but just the sight of them is terrifying.
Got another question here. I can read it off. Do we get an elephant episode for the Battle of Magnesia?
I don't know. I'm not sure I want to really start a precedent that we do an episode for all of the battles with elephants. But
ranking all the elephants. That's what we need to do.
I mean, we could do. We'll see. We'll see how many people start pressuring us to do that, because we got quite a lot of pressure to do this one. So, yeah.
Got another question here. Were horses terrified of elephants as well?
Yes, very much so. So a lot of the training that you'd have to do if you were fighting with elephants was to get your cavalry to be able to line up alongside the elephants and trust that the elephants weren't going to just turn around and stampede through them. Which is why Hannibal trained the cavalry and the elephants together. Unfortunately, though, the elephants quite often did just turn around and charge through the cavalry, because they're elephants and elephants do what elephants want. So the horses were terrified, the people were terrified, the elephants were terrified. Everyone was terrified. Scary business as well.
Looks like there's a question about when he lost his tusk. I feel like I missed that part of the story.
Oh yes, Jamie, you didn't say when he lost his tusk.
I've got an answer for that. I forgot at the time. So in the bit with the frozen water, you're walking along a mountain pass. Like one side is constantly on the cold side of the rock and the snow, where his tusk was. So it basically froze and crumbled and just shattered like an icicle. That's what it was.
Did Jeff get his attention by knocking on his tusk, and it just
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, that is a shame. We just don't know when he lost his tusk. It's just one of the few descriptions we got of him. Is he only had one tusk, and he wore lots of red, which is interesting when you said the red thing, Jamie, earlier, because the one description we do have of him is that he had lots of red cloth over him to make him look more fierce. So yeah,
I just thought they painted red to look like a devil, kind of thing. Gave him horns, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, they could have done that, but no, they didn't.
All right, we have another question. I guess there's one question about releasing the audio of this on the Patreon feed. I guess that it is being recorded. I don't know if there's a Patreon feed that's separate from the recording.
I don't know. It depends on the policy of the conference. That's not something I've asked about yet, but I will let people know. As and when I can. No, Bree's already answered that. She said, if we want to, after a month or so, after the ticket holders, in which case, yes, we will. After a month or two, yes.
All right. So we got another question. It seems like, could Hannibal have gotten as far, won as much without the elephants?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say yes, because Hannibal was a genius. So he would have just adapted. The elephants were a useful tool that he used, but never were they decisive in battle.
Hey.
Sorry, Surus. So I would say he would have got just as far. It would have looked different though. He would have just trained something else. Goats, maybe. Battle goats.
Oh, yes.
Squirrels. Yeah. All sorts.
Are there other weird animals that have been tried out before?
No.
Combat skunks.
Apart from elephants, dogs and horses are the only animals humans have trained to be part of warfare. Pigs were lit on fire to frighten away elephants at certain points. That was one way that the Romans tried to counter, which is just horrendous. It's so bad. We cover that in some of no, it wasn't Scipio's, it's Fabius's episode, I believe. We covered the just setting fire to cattle and letting them scare the enemy.
The cows, in the valley,
But I don't think that really counts as training to use in warfare. That's just setting animals aflame. Yeah.
Did we have chickens in our first episode, or ducks or something?
With chickens, you slaughter the chickens, see which way the battle's going to go. You don't train them to fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm going to have to end the session here, but thank you, Robert and Jamie. This was really great, really enlightening, interesting. And yeah, feel free to continue the conversation in the lobby. But
great. Thank you very much for everyone for listening.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. So we're still in the lobby and there's still people on the chat. So.
Oh, where do we go? I think we're meant to end this and then go into the thing.
No, we're still there. We're now in the lobby. But we're still recording. Yeah, people are still chatting. Are they?
Are they? I don't think so.
Hello.
I'm going to click end because I'm fairly sure that's what we're supposed to do.
All right.
Right.
Oh, we can hear you. They can hi.
Oh, people can hear us. So we're doing like illegal after hours broadcasting.
It's like a lock-in podcast. Right?
Yeah, it is. Oh.
So guys, what do you really think of Rob?
Now we can talk about the really juicy stuff about Surus that I wasn't allowed to air.
Yeah, all the sex with Susan.
Exactly, I had to cut all that out. Anyway, no, let's actually end because that's what we're supposed to do. Right, okay. Thank you for listening, everyone.
We'll be at the round table later on, the Rexy thing.
Yeah,
and I'll be at Rob's. I'll be there with you.
Yeah, you're coming round to mine. And tune into the Pontifex one because I hear the two hosts doing that are wonderful people.
I think, yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Hopefully see everyone later, and I'll see you soon, Jamie.
Yeah.
You've got 50 minutes.
I'll be there within 20.
Cool. Right. Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.